do you got?
I'm looking at a market here around the highs of the session. You get volume a little bit light here, but the NASDAQ is up by a full 1 percentage point, really playing that NVIDIA into earnings tomorrow.
It's a good thing there's nothing going on geopolitically. I'm just going to put that out there. It's amazing markets are even up a little bit.
You know, you guys are looking at the equity market. I'm looking at crypto. Bitcoin, another new all-time high today. Right now, it's higher by another $1,100, 92,400 for Bitcoin. Matt, did you ever find all that Bitcoin you lost?
It was, fortunately for me, it was a small amount, but I did never find
Wait, you lost it?
the private key. I lost a small amount of Bitcoin.
How much is a small amount?
It would be maybe a 9/11 at this point.
I am so convinced he's got it and he just won't tell us.
Used to be a small amount. Now it's like, that sounds like almost a, that's more than a full Bitcoin,
I
right?
want to know if he lost it or if it was requisitioned and if we're going to get it sold at some point.
It's been confiscated?
Like, yes.
Who bought it? Did Bloomberg buy it?
I bought it myself. I will say, I bought it myself. At the time, I paid $600 for each Bitcoin that I used. I lived on Bitcoin for 2 weeks. I didn't use the US dollar.
This is a long time ago. It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And I'm trying not to think about it, but every time Bitcoin hits a new high, everyone reminds me that I lost the private key. The closing bell is what you are hearing right now, and we're finishing up on the day on the S&P 500 by 0.4%, 5,916 on the S&P. I like that because 916 is my favorite Ducati. The NASDAQ up more than 1%. Alex has pointed out that tech really driving this rally, and that is definitely true. 18,987, the level there. The Dow Jones Industrial Average. Who looks at that anymore?
I do sometimes.
The kids always make fun of me when I bring it up. But 43,268, 269. The Dow actually down a little bit on the day. The Russell did quite well. I would put the Russell here if I were you.
Hey, don't hate on the Dow.
The Russell's right there. The Russell's right there. There's a chart with a line that look at the Russell.
Ah, I see. That's in the big screen.
Well done, well done.
Up 0.8%, 2,324.25 on the Russell. So it's really an amazing turnaround. When I kicked off my show, Bloomberg Open Interest from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every weekday. This morning, futures were down more than 1%. And I had an argument with Katie Greifeld. She said, we should lead on Walmart. We're a single stock story show. And I said, no, we have to lead on the broader market. It's down on Ukraine-Russia jitters.
Matt, it's your world and we're just living in it.
It's true. It's true. But here on this show, I was like, Carol, we're going to lead with tech.
I know.
You're the boss.
Exactly. All right. S&P 500, guys, let's look at kind of more of a downward tone, if you will. 191 names actually gaining ground on this Tuesday, 312 to the downside. Vonnie.
Yeah, exactly. And pertaining to Matt's point, one of the only sectors that was actually lower today, if you go into the map, the IMAP function on your Bloomberg, was energy. And that was possibly because there was a little bit of a back and forth between whether we were having geopolitical tensions escalate or whether there's just too many barrels of oil out there for the demand that's necessary. Right now, we're below $70 a barrel.
All right, everybody. We want to take you to a live shot. We are seeing Donald Trump there with Elon Musk. They are getting ready for another launch. And so we've been monitoring what is going on. But the two of them, something I feel like kind of joined at the hip, the two of them.
It's the Starship Flight 6. They're targeting a 5 p.m. Eastern time launch.
Musk is right there with him. That's great.
There we go.
Yeah,
he is.
Doesn't matter if they're flying, to New York City to go to UFC or chilling on the plane eating McDonald's. These two have been side by side pretty much nonstop. We are expected to see that launch happen in the next hour or so. Brownsville, Texas is where that's going to happen.
Yeah, kind of interesting, though, to see that Trump has traveled there to be there at that site. So we will definitely follow that and the launch. But these two individuals, as we said, we know that Elon Musk has certainly been involved on calls with leaders, involved with the transition team, and just talking to the president-elect about policy. But we'll continue to monitor that and wait for that launch coming our way at 5 p.m. Wall Street time. In the meantime, let's get to some of the individual gainers, if I may. We are seeing super microcomputer. I know.
Okay, Carol.
Don't look at the red.
Okay.
Look away.
Don't you do gainers?
Shush.
Hey, where's your Bitcoin key?
All right. Oh, my God. I am so glad you're back, Alix Steel. Super microcomputer, guys, up 31% in today's session. Top in the NASDAQ 100, top in the S&P 500. Company hired a new auditor. always a good thing. Filed a plan to come into compliance with NASDAQ listing requirements. I mean, they're seeing this as a big step of kind of getting their house back in order, but we'll continue to follow it. Investors certainly big on this one. Walmart up 3% off its highs. Again, another top gainer in the S&P and NASDAQ. They boosted their outlook for the year on strong demand from U.S. consumers searching for value. High-end consumers, they are seeing more and more of those at Walmart. We talked to our own analysts. And Bakkt Holdings, please don't judge me. It was up 25% today, and I thought I was in like Flynn, but apparently not. Finishing the day with a decline of about 0.7%. We know we did it yesterday before the close. Trump's Media and Technology is in talks to buy Bakkt Holdings, according to those familiar. FT first reported it, but we've done our own reporting.
Sounds like not. Sounds like those talks are off.
I'm ignoring you for now. Let's go to Tim.
All right. Let's talk about some of the decliners. Did you guys see shares of Intuit and H&R Block? They both fell today. This after the Washington Post reported that leaders of President-elect Donald Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, we just saw one of them right there, Elon Musk, discussing creating a new way for Americans to file their taxes. We saw shares of Intuit fall today by more than 5%. Intuit, of course, makes TurboTax. Along with H&R Block, the two just dominate the U.S. tax prep industry. They earn billions of dollars a year providing digital and in-person services. So if there were an easy and free way to do this that more Americans would use, then that foreseeably could hurt their business. We should note that the IRS has rolled out a pilot program for taxpayers to file their returns for free online. It's part of the Biden administration's Inflation Reduction Act. Also, Insight Corporation shares fell today. At least at one point today, they were down the most since April of 2018. Shares falling by about 8.3%. The company said it's pausing enrollment in a mid-stage study of a treatment for chronic spontaneous urticaria, which is a skin condition. Analysts are disappointed with the pause and note that the management appears uncertain about next steps due to pending review by the FDA. I know we got some breaking earnings coming.
Yeah, you know what? Let me jump on those for you. Keysight Technologies right now out with adjusted EPS at $1.65. We were looking for $1.57, so that's a beat. Revenue was $1.29 billion. We were looking for $1.26 billion, so that's a beat as well. And Keysight says first quarter adjusted EPS will be $1.65 to $1.71. So that whole range is above the $1.57 that the street had estimated. Keysight offers electronic measurement services using wireless modular and software solutions. It is a $26.5 billion company that you probably have never heard of.
I definitely have not heard of it.
No, but it's huge.
Yeah.
But I wish I owned it yesterday.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the bond market here, guys, because I think it's interesting where we ended up. If you take a look at the 2 and the 5 and the 10 and the 30, you saw a little bit of a bit in the back end, but barely nothing from what we saw before we opened for the equity market and the cash market. You had 10-year yield at one point down by about 9 basis points on a real safe haven bid.
9 basis points.
Yeah. And then now
I
we're
don't
down
remember
by
the
2.
10-year yield being down 9 basis points.
I am looking at the intraday jib.
I'm quoting Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh. They talk about basis points in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Ferris is sick 9 times.
They definitely do not.
Oh my God, that was digging deep. Anywho, my point is that we definitely saw a reversal a little bit in that safe haven bid, despite the fact that you still saw a touch of buying in the long end.
All right, guys, I want to talk about what's going on in airports. We both have 2 good stories. Caviar cart, lemon zest, mocktails, Spanish wines.
Nice.
It's all happening courtesy of Capital One Financial in
Yeah,
DC.
the lounge wars, they're on. So it's Amex versus the Chase Sapphire Lounge at some airports now.
This
and then
one
at
you
DC,
need a reservation.
At DC, they have the Capital One Lounge.
And maybe even have to pay to get in.
Jose Andres is the chef there, or it's the partnership. He's part of it. It's more like a private high-end restaurant. Food you'd rave about outside an airport. More than that, it's less like a traditional sort of rest and recharge place. Look at the pictures of this thing.
It's not like the financials French fries we grab on the fly when we.
Speaking of French
I
fries,
secret gourmet food.
it's not quite Jose Andres, but it is Danny Meyer and Delta. If you buy first class now, you can actually get yourself a Shake Shack burger. I think this is supposed to be a quote-unquote perk. It doesn't sound quite like the caviar that you might get at the Capital One.
I would far prefer the Shake Shack burger.
But can you imagine sitting in economy and you just smell the Shake Shack burger like coming to you from first class?
That's the idea,
that's gotta hurt, you know?
It's the Seinfeld skit, right? The hot fudge sundae in first class while...
Doesn't it have to have the fries with it, though? It didn't say anything about the fries. Do the fries come with it?
Fries don't carry well.
I want to know, like, that's a good sort of... I want to know if it tastes the same on the plane as it does in the restaurant.
You should try it.
Yeah, well...
I'll be in the Capital One lounge. I'll just let you know now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Don't we have a Capital One cafe just
downstairs in this building? Yeah. Yes, we do. It's a fantastic place to hang out, and they have great ATMs.
Yeah, and I bet they know where their crypto keys are or whatever the heck it is that you need.
That hurt. She got it in there.
Too soon, too soon. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Across platform, radio, TV, YouTube, Bloomberg Originals. We do it across the board. We'll see you again, same time, same place tomorrow.